trainer told me specifically that, Gargi, while doing it, you have to be so specific that in 5 to 7 words, may it be, but the whole message of email content should have reflection in your subject line. So I want to encourage you, and from that moment till the time now, whenever I'm using it, I'm very clear that whenever I'm writing an email, the subject line is effective enough, which is encouraging my reader to read from the email, and not only the read and to see what is important. Do you feel long email should be prepared for it?
Okay.
Not necessary.
Not
Not
necessary.
necessary. Correct.
Not necessary. Actually, long emails these days, everybody's running so fast, and there is a paucity of time. So this is one example which I have covered, that email writing. Okay, now let me talk about, this is something we have talked about, written communication. I also want you to focus upon oral communication. How do you all feel that you are very effective in your oral communication? You feel you are effective? Priyanka also feels. Ajinkya also feels. Neha feels. Sini Gupta feels. So do you know art of presentation? Have you ever come across such presentation where you are finding that this is what I was looking for and I have been given with? So have you ever come up with such kind of exposure anytime, that what should be the various contents that should be taken care when you are presenting? Have you ever heard about that there is a science behind presentation? Have you ever got an exposure for the same?
We have heard about it. Exposure-wise, I think it's minimalistic, we can say, that we haven't experienced much.
You have not experienced and you have not gotten exposure because probably you have not tried to dig it further, that how should it be taken, right? Because
Mhm.
sometimes there are few things we are very, very ignorant about. And if we are into IT firm, if we are into consultancy, we are less exposed to the public speaking, we are less exposed to the meeting rooms, or maybe in the meetings we are very, very comfortable. We are blessed that we are into the profession where we are getting every day an opportunity to speak in public. And when you deal with younger stars, when you deal with the MBA students, there is a different set of expectation you need to handle. And to fulfill that expectation, probably always we are required to be on toes. So for me, art of presentation is very, very different. It is not just about the PowerPoint presentation that I am having. It is not about only the uh, things that I have included in my presentation. It is also about my body language. It is also about the way I non-verbally able to communicate. And this is what I want my students on today, to whomsoever I'm giving a mentorship, a session, that you have to have that science, you ought to have the art of business communication. Because if you talk about business language, the business language is very different. It is not generally how do we conduct ourselves in uh, families, how do we conduct ourselves in friends, but this is one of the tool, and which you all would agree that this is one of the very important tool that would allow you to position yourself in the organization. What do you say? Do you feel that communication skills and the way you are communicating in the business setup gives you an edge over others or not? It
Agree.
gives,
Yes.
Agree.
certainly, yes.
Yeah.
Some of us agree with it that it actually gives us very clear positioning. And while I'm having an experience of more than decades, in fact 18 years of experience, personally I tell you, business communication also depends, and it is different from industry to industry. There are different sectors, because when I look to the people, I got an opportunity once to uh, get an experience to work with an IT firm. And there I realized that the people are not very particular about communication. And I always feel that why they are not very particular, because they are technocrats, they are technological experts, but they have missed assigning the importance, the way they are handling team. the way they are making conversation, the way they are writing emails. And when you make them realize about this, probably they feel bad. They feel that it is okay if I am not good at communication. But I say, when you are already a technological expert, you know the nuance of it and everything, you know. So why you are leaving this? Because it is only a dedication, a devotion of near about 40 to 50 hours to yourself. Once you will invest into you, probably you will be completely transformed. You will have confidence, you will have courage to take up things, you'll be faster. I'm telling you the basic things that I have experienced in my own life being a professional. And when I observe this kind of uh, a thrust or a drive by many professional experts to change themselves on the parameters of business communication, and when they continuously work over it, they are completely transformed. So my request to every participant here is that do not just think that it is a module of IGNOU. No, it's a big no. Do not think that it is not going to give you anything and you have to just study it, you have to learn it, and you have to write it in the examination. Again, a big no. What I want that you please comprehend. Out of 4 blocks, if you feel that first block is of my interest, polish it, be an expert of it, take it to the specialization level, be an epitome of specialization, and just see that this year maybe you would be able to pass the examination. But what is the examination of the life? Have you really uh, upskilled yourself from here to here? Because that's the fundamental concept in management, that you realize the importance of business communication. And for that matter, the one thing that you have to be very particular about, that you are not required to be, a great specialist of English. What I want all of you to understand the basic grammar sense, and then to have that courage to speak publicly, to have that courage to put yourself into the practice which is there in IGNOU modules, connect with it, write it in yourself, and then evaluate yourself. Because I, being mentor for this subject, would not be able to watch you very closely. My motive of conducting these sessions is to encourage you, guide you, give you a structure that this is how you should read. Because for me, it is important that you read, you comprehend, and then you start using these kind of things. Are you understanding my point of view? I hope that is making a sense.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So even we are very okay if we are not passed out from English schools. That's absolutely fine. We are doing over analysis of our personality. हमने एक 10 की एक are you comfortable with Hindi as well? Because I feel
Yes,
that
ma'am.
I become very very effective when you are using mixed kind of language.
Yes.
So I want to
I'm
relate
comfortable
to
in both language.
ग्रेट वैभव, थैंक्स फॉर कंफर्मिंग इट. तो हमने ये जो हिंदी का पैरामीटर इतना स्ट्रांगली कर रखा है ना, सेइंग नो, जिनकी हिंदी बहुत अच्छी होती है उनके लिए बहुत 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 ज्यादा आसान है कि आपकी इंग्लिश अच्छी हो जाए. बिकॉज इंग्लिश में कमांड होना इज इजी, हिंदी में कमांड होना, that means, that shows that you have some devotion and dedication towards language. हिंदी संस्कृत से बहुत उन्नत भाषा है और इंग्लिश भी अपने आप में डेफिनेटली बहुत. बट आई रियली वांट दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड द फैक्ट दैट इट इज नॉट द ब्लॉकेज ऑफ लैंग्वेज, it is the blockage, that is mental blockage that you are carrying yourself, that you are not that effective. And do not rate yourself. I want you to please clear whatever you have till date, clear it. हम बुरे हैं तो भी अच्छे हैं, हम अच्छे हैं तो बहुत अच्छा होना है. Getting my point? I really do not want you to have that mental obstacles that I'm not good. Let us not declare ourselves. Let us now have full usage of the modules which are given, the practice sessions which are given, the mentorship that has been arranged by IGNOU, and then afterwards, मेरे को अपने आप को पूर्णतया समर्पित करना होगा. Once I am fully and wholly dedicated and devoted to the understanding of business communication, no one in the entire world can stop you to become effective. Getting my point? It is not just about the motivation that I'm giving you, but honestly, I'm telling you, I have seen people who are coming from Hindi background, dedicated towards business communication, flip turn, एंड हम स्कूल को इतना बना लेते हैं. मैं आपको एक सिंपल सी मैथ्स बताती हूँ. स्कूल में आपके कितने ईयर्स गए? फर्स्ट टू 12 में 12 ईयर्स यू हैव डिवोटेड. इंग्लिश के आपने कितने आवर्स दिए होंगे? इंग्लिश के कितने पीरियड्स आए होंगे? आपने उन सबको अनदेखा कर दिया. क्या आप 2 महीने में वो सारे आवर्स जो हैं वो रिकवर नहीं कर सकते हैं? Don't you feel so? It is easy for us to do that. It is only 2 to 3 months game, removing that mental blockage, reducing the time on the social media, reducing the time from the WhatsApp, reducing the time from the Facebook, and then be focused, have that approach, and understand what is business communication. This is one part. I want you to give you a brief background that how you should proceed. First of all, you have to encourage yourself. There are people who always say we are very good at meeting, we are very good at expressions, we are very good, but are you really that essence-full? People love to read your messages on email when you are sending it. Do people want to be part of your meeting sessions? Are you using, if you are already here, people who are here, they have to reach here and then they have to go above. People who are already here, you have to go very high. And for that matter, it is from confusion to clarity. It is from overconfidence to being confident. I mean, yes, start evaluating yourself on true parameters. Start evaluating yourself with proper scores, and then be a critic to yourself. Then be a critic to yourself. Business communication today is very important. Without business communication, probably it would be difficult for us to make our career progression. It is very important in terms of exchanging my ideas, exchanging information, in terms of, encouraging people, motivating people, and be effective. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Thanks. Thank you for. I'm just trying to share one. I'm now thinking, I'll start with an introduction to the blocks that we have in IGNOU. And then I've decided to come up with non-verbal communication. That's always very close to my heart. And it is not just about because I'm teaching business communication. It is also, I always feel that sometimes because of our body language, because of the non-verbal communication, we behave in business setup in a, very strange way, which we can really avoid if at all we are trained with. So with that purpose, I have decided to first give you an introduction with the modules that are there in IGNOU, and then we would be going up with the non-verbal communication. Just a moment. I hope this is getting displayed. I hope this is getting displayed. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for confirming. So while preparing for IGNOU module, I thought that I need to first orient them. Do you feel business communication is a very comprehensive approach and it encompasses all? Do you feel so? Reports, letter, memo, email, business proposals, informal, formal, non-verbal, written, oral, verbal. Have you ever come across such terms earlier as well? Have you ever come across such terms? Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Yes, we have come across the terminologies which you have mentioned.
Okay, yeah, absolutely great. It's great. You know, these days there is a lot of emphasis on CV. So, how many of you have prepared your CV through, what we call it? There is an app, Canva. So, how many of you have an exposure for Canva?
Yep, I have used Canva before.
Yes. Oh, I could see that there are many. So, are you using paid versions of it or free versions of it?
I have a paid
You
version.
have paid version. Who is that?
Fuzzle. My name is
Puzzle.
Fuzzle.
Okay, you have paid version. So do you feel you are able to get the maximum benefit out of it?
Yeah, yeah, it's very
You are
helpful.
using it. You are very comfortable going for Canva. So how long you have been working in the industry?
Oh, I have 16 years of experience.
16 years of experience. And now why you got enrolled in this program?
It's more of a career progression
It's a career
aspect of it.
progression.
I also want to
Acquaint yourself with the new
learn
and
MBA as
yeah,
well.
new things that are happening these days,
Yeah,
because MBA has changed a lot. There
yeah.
is a lot of involvement of technology now, and there is a lot of involvement of new concepts, case study and all that. Wonderful. Thanks for supporting my conversation. Thank you so much. I think my slide is visible. I'm trying to give you an exposure for block one, and block one is something which is little theoretical, not that very practical, but yes, it has got practice exercises. How many of you have got modules or happen to see on the internet the various modules which are available uh, on IGNOU sites? Have you got an exposure?
Yes.
Great. You have seen, you have downloaded all the modules?
Yes, I have.
Great. And have you tried with the practice activity also, which are given beneath the chapter? After every chapter, they have given you the practice session aspect. Have you tried with them?
No, no, ma'am.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Being
Not.
very truthful, no.
No, it is okay. It is absolutely fine because you people are working professionals. So this is not that easy because for me, academics is something I am into there. I'm in for 17 years. I'm into academics. Only 1 year I had a corporate experience. So I understand because that is something I'm always there, and we always conduct activities for students to make them understand what is that business, what is that communication. Can anybody tell me what is communication? Can anybody tell me what is communication?
Convey
Communication is a way
information.
to express our thoughts and views to someone who
Good,
get it
Sumit.
easily.
Very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good, good.
Exchange of
Now,
ideas.
False
exchange
idea.
of absolutely exchange of ideas. Geeta was also saying something. Geeta
Yeah, the
was there.
exchange of conveying
Okay,
information.
conveying information. So I just want to take up from you, Geeta. It is just about conveying information. It is not about conveying feelings.
Information can be like its feelings or ideas and everything.
Yeah, in business parlance, if you talk about, definitely it is about conveying information, and in business, don't you coordinate through communication? Are you working somewhere, Geeta?
I used to.
You used to work, so you must have felt that communication is a mode. गेटिंग में ये
Yeah.
माध्यम है ना? वो इंफॉर्मेशन भी हो सकती है, वो मेरे कोई मन की बात भी हो सकती है, वो दो लोगों के बीच में मुझे अगर कुछ चैनल का काम करना है तो वो भी हो सकती है. आई वॉन्ट यू टू टेक यू टूवर्ड्स अ ब्रॉडर स्पेक्ट्रम. मैं नहीं चाहती कि आप लोग बहुत ज्यादा डेफिनेशंस लर्न करें या फिर मगअप करें. आई वॉन्ट यू टू अंडरस्टैंड द मीनिंग ऑफ इट. अच्छा गीता, मुझे एक बात बताइए. सुमित वॉज ऑल्सो देयर. सुमित, यू वर देयर?
I'm there.
Yes, yes. So Sumit, you told me कि आपका कन्वे आप जब कम्युनिकेट करते हैं तो और इजीली समझ में आ जाए. अगर दूसरे को इजीली नहीं समझ में आया तो
Then we try to explain them clearly.
कैसे
There is
कर?
a several ways to communicate.
There
We
are
can explain
several
them to
methods.
yeah, ma'am,
Yes.
but through texting, through verbal, non-verbal communication. We are using
Pictorial
several modes,
communication as
so we
well.
can easily communicate. मतलब explain our views to someone.
बिल्कुल, बहुत अच्छा। सुमित, गीता, बाकी सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स, मैं आपको ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि कम्युनिकेशन एक प्रोसेस है, ये जरूर ध्यान रखिएगा। मैं जैसा कहना चाहती हूँ, इन पर्सन को बीच में कितनी भी चीजें आई, अगर उन्होंने वो ही समझा जो मैं कहना चाहती थी, तो मेरा कम्युनिकेशन पूरा होगा, अदरवाइज अधूरा रह जाएगा। Getting my point? Therefore, in communication, we talk about barriers. Have you ever heard about barriers?
Yes.
Yes? Great. So, therefore, I really want you to have a clear understanding that communication is a process. और मैं आपको before closing down this, मैं आपको बताऊंगी communication कैसा होता है। एक mother and child में बच्चा नहीं कहता बट मदर समझ जाती है, इतना पावरफुल वो कम्युनिकेशन होना। देयरफॉर वी टॉक अबाउट नॉन वर्बल साइंस, therefore we talk about verbal. I do not want every student of mine or to so whomsoever I am doing mentorship that you be a Shashi Tharoor ji. Nahi, I never want you. I do not want you to be full of Oxford dictionary where you are having a lot of vocabulary. No, all that. No, I want that people should understand you in the same way you are thinking. You want to communicate and you want the information to get communicated. तो आपका पूरा तभी होगा, आपको खुद को लगेगा कभी आप बात करते हैं तो आपने खुद ने डॉट्स जो होते हैं वो गायब कर दिए होते हैं, isn't it? आपको किसी ने कुछ कहा कि आपको फर्दर आगे करना है और आप बोलते जा रहे हैं और आपने जो मेन पॉइंट्स हैं दैट यू हैव मिस्ड, आर यू एबल टू एम्पैथाइज? आप कर पा रहे हैं? आर यू एबल टू पुट योरसेल्फ इन अनदर शूज? दैट इज, एंड देन यू गेट इरिटेटेड कि समझता क्यों नहीं है, दिस इज व्हाट आई हैव रिटन क्लियरली. This is more, you have to evaluate yourself, that what you wrote, what you spoke, and they have translated, they have decoded that only. Sometimes when I'm talking to my daughters, I get irritated. And then I start realizing that I'm not giving them full information how a child can, decode. Because when I talk to my colleagues, there is a different set of wavelength which I have. But when you are conversing with a child, so जब आप अपने पीयर ग्रुप के साथ कर रहे हैं, जब आप अपने सबऑर्डिनेट के साथ कर रहे हैं और जब आप अपने सुपीरियर के साथ कर रहे हैं, यू हैव टू हैव डिफरेंट वे ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. एंड इट इज नॉट जस्ट अबाउट कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने कहा है कि ऊपर वालों को ईमेल करनी है, पर वो ईमेल 3 लाइनों की भी बहुत पावरफुल सशक्त हो सकती है जो कि मीनिंग एब्सोल्युटली कन्वे कर सकती है. In this module, what they do in this module, they make you very, very clear about the basics of communication. They talk about that there is a process of communication, types of communication, oral and written. They have talked about types of communication. In forms of communication, verbal, non-verbal, this is all something, which I want to tell you very clearly that this is going to be the base for it. You don't mug up it. लेकिन आप रीड करते जाइए. आप कहेंगे कि मैम हम इतने थक जाते हैं, इतने वर्काहोलिक होते हैं, when we enter in our house probably we get badly tired and then we are not even able to flip the pages of the module. I request you, please scroll those pages, please flip those pages. You get material in physical copies also, I believe, from IGNOU.
Not for the online version.
No, ma'am.
Okay, not for this. But we are these days so accustomed of using mobile and getting these downloaded and soft copies. I think we all are not that very accustomed of using and flipping the pages, isn't it? And one of the thing which I really want to tell you and put forward to you all must be knowing कि IGNOU के modules जिन्होंने लिखे हैं, they are experts in their areas. और आपको जब exposure मिलेगा, आप उसमें देखेंगे there are so many experts who have designed this module. और मैं उन स्टूडेंट्स को जिनका उनको लगता है कि मैम दिस मॉड्यूल इज समथिंग वी नो, डू नॉट स्टार्ट विद दिस मॉड्यूल, then take up this module at the time of examination only, or you can devote at least a time framework of 2 hours, flip the pages, have a structure of the module, and then think and then visualize. And if at all possible, watch good communication videos which are having good likes, which are talking about process of communication. For me in this module, what is most important is process of communication, types of communication. Are you getting my point?
Yep.
Any questions
Yes,
regarding
madam.
this? Any questions regarding this? Because currently I'm orienting you towards this particular block. Okay, fine. Maybe not now, maybe later on. It's absolutely fine. Then block 2 consists of oral communication at work, listening and reading skills. You know, there are different activities with how I really want to check with all of you. Do you feel you are very patient listener?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
No.
You know, this is
No,
this
ma'am.
is something, yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes very honest, and you know that's not that easy. Honestly, that's not that easy, because your mind has got a capacity, your mind has got an ability to focus upon few things, and when you listen to it, आप कितने बजे सुन रहे हैं? आप सुबह की मीटिंग में होंगे तो आपको 70% रिसेप्टिविटी होगी. आफ्टरनून में कोई मीटिंग ले रहा है तो आपको लगता है लंच के बाद कौन मीटिंग लेता है, बिकॉज योर बॉडी इज लिटिल डल, तो आपकी रिसेप्टिविटी जो होती है वो कम हो जाती है. इवनिंग में मीटिंग्स होंगी तो यू गेट इरिटेटेड, यू रियली वांट टू यू नो ब्लास्ट ऑन दैट पर्सन that why you are taking meeting in evening, this is time to go and we won't be, और आपको लगेगा they are very target oriented when they are taking meetings in evening and they have so much to deliver, they have so much to talk about, but you are not in stage of receptive. I mean, you are not that receptive, isn't it? Does it happen with all of us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yeah,
how we can improve listening skills? How we can improve? This is a practical thing which I want to tell you. How can you improve? You know, when a person is conducting meeting, आपको लगेगा 1 घंटे में उन्होंने बात तो 2 ही करी. Now 1 hour of meeting और आपने 2 बातें करी, मीन हाफ एन आवर आपने उसको दे दिया, और लास्ट में आप निकलोगे तो आपको वो 2 पॉइंट्स याद ही नहीं रहेंगे. उनको ये याद रहेगा कि उन्होंने किसकी किस तरह से इंसल्ट करी, किसकी किस तरह से उन्होंने बात करी, या आज उनकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज कैसी थी. आप क्रिटिकली उनको ही एनालाइज करते रहोगे, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So Abhijit, what should we do? What should we do actually?
Making notes.
Making notes, it is good. Yes, it is good, certainly. What
Trying to be interactive when he's talking.
Very good.
Just
Very
adding
good. This is fantastic. You know, we have been sent for faculty development program very often. And when we go there, it starts from 9 and it ends at 5 or maybe at 6. So sometimes after lunch break, you start feeling dull. But there is a single recipe that we all have been able to devise as a faculty, that you keep yourself engaged. You keep yourself engaged into the conversation which is happening. Do ask question. Do ask question if possible. What else? You can be selective. Selective in terms of, आपको कई बार ऐसा मौका ही नहीं आएगा कि आप बोल सको. होता है ऐसा या नहीं होता है?
Yes, ma'am.
It
Exactly.
happens.
Because normally the
Exactly.
Q&A session and other stuff happen only at the last.
Absolutely. तब आप क्या कर सकते हैं? तब आप कैसे कर सकते हैं? जिस चीज को वो बार बार रिपीट कर रहे हैं, कैन यू पेन इट डाउन?
Yes, making notes, correct.
मेकिंग नोट्स. एंड ऑल्सो आप जब नोट्स बना रहे हैं, उसका आपको पता है कि उन्होंने बात 3 ही करी है. बी पर्टिकुलर, मेक नोट्स, अदरवाइज ट्राई टू इंक्रीज योर मेमोरी. कि ये 3 पॉइंट्स हैं जिन पे हमें हमारे सुपीरियर्स ने कहा है that they want us to. So be selective. Listening में there is an art. Be selective. हम बहुत ज्यादा वो हो रहे हैं, पावर पॉइंट चल रही है, पावर पॉइंट रीड करिए, उसमें देखिए कि एनीथिंग विच इज देयर. आपको लगता है 15-20 मिनट हो गए, किसी ने क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा, एंड देयर इज अ राइट एटमॉस्फेयर टू आस्क क्वेश्चन. द पर्सन इज गिविंग यू लिबर्टी आल्सो टू आस्क. डू आस्क. क्योंकि ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता. अगर हम कहते हैं ना क्वेश्चंस नहीं है, अभी हमने कई बार अपनी पर्सनालिटी बहुत टाइप्ड कर ली होती है, एंड वी से देयर आर नो क्वेश्चंस बिकॉज वी आर हेजिटेंट टू आस्क. We are hesitant with the reactions of others, that what they would think about me. So what you should do, you should take care of yourself, you should gather your courage, and you should ask questions. For sure, you would, the takeaways from those kind of meetings would be much more than what do you feel. isn't it? Do you feel it's a pragmatic approach?
Yeah.
Do you
Yes,
feel it's a
ma'am.
pragmatic approach? Yes. So we'll apply this. We'll apply this. And reading skills. How many of you read books? How many of you read books? So there are many. Wow, great. Great. Sini, what kind of books do you read? Sini Gupta, what kind of books do you read? Okay, Pulkit, can you share few names? Pulkit, Samriddhi Jha,
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yes.
Vaibhav, yes, Vaibhav.
I'm Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, Rich Dad Poor Dad. You have read that?
Ma'am, some pages only.
Okay, it's absolutely fine. But you
I
got
like
an
to listen,
exposure.
ma'am. I don't
Yes.
like to read book, but in a Kuku FM, I have premium account, so I listen that books on.
Wow.
Yeah, ma'am.
This is the empowerment of technology. Maybe you don't feel very there is a different method. It is not necessary that I and you both believe in reading books. I might like to flip pages, but you might like to listen the audio of that.
After tired of day, ma'am, in the evening, 9, 10 o'clock, I get my headphones and listen to the that type of book, Atomic Habit, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and sometimes Bhagavad Gita, and also.
Very nice. It's very good. If you are reading Bhagavad Gita, you will realize that whole management is into Bhagavad Gita.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I must appreciate your endeavors. It is very good. Samriti, you have raised your hand. Would you like to participate in the conversation?
Yes, so I prefer reading, thriller novels or maybe motivational books.
Great, great.
So,
So how
yes,
it is helping you to improve your business communication also?
yes, it is definitely helping me. It gives a lot of insights on how to communicate with others or what vocabulary you have to use. You get so many things from books. Books actually
Samriti,
is a very good.
there is a point in the blog that is interpersonal communication. Do you feel that these kind of novels are really helping you to understand the other's mentality, and you try to see that if you would have been at their place, how would you have reacted?
Yeah, exactly. Because we see and read a lot of characters in the books, and every
Very.
character has their own, importance and value and way of communicating. So
Reading is
we
very
learn.
good. Yeah,
We can
reading is.
get their experience, ma'am.
Yes,
From
Abhijit, you can, and you start visualizing. When you are listening to audios of these books, आपको लगता है कि आप वहाँ पे ऐसा चल रहा था, वैसा हो रहा था. So this is very good habit, because the authors, but be selective. What I want, that read good books, listen to good books. If you have Spotify, if you have other applications and you are using those for your own enrichment, that's wonderful. Because in India, in times to come, you ought to be somebody who is very effective in communication. I do not want to uh, overemphasize the business communication, but India is growing exponentially, and the way we all are, and I want my, to whomsoever I'm mentoring, that you all should go to a level with that essence. I do not want you to, you rise. No, I always tell it that that there should be a balance between success and satisfaction. So I also want to share my philosophy of my life, that you should grow, but there is a process of life that you should grow eventually and gradually. If you directly reach to a place which you cannot handle, so that's not good. Listening and reading give a lot of refinement in your thought process, in the way you write, in the way you are creative, in the way you are imaginative, in the way you visualize. Are you getting my point? So from this way, listening and reading skills are very important. And how you can, use such things that I have told you, that makes you creative, and Visualization become more stronger in your case. So try to see it. If you're able to read books, at least साल की 2 books तो अपने लिए पढ़िए. नहीं पढ़ सकते तो अभिजीत ने जैसे अपने आप को एम्पावर कर रखा है, that he listens to audio clippings, that is also a wonderful way. एनी टाइम आप गीता का सोचते हैं कि बहुत टफ है श्रीमद् भगवत गीता, तो आप साल के 2 अध्याय तो आप एटलीस्ट सुन ही सकते हैं. इट्स नॉट दैट टफ, isn't it, Abhijit?
Yes, ma'am.
You all can hear. Second is interpersonal communication. What do you feel? Pulkit, you have raised your hand. You want to participate? You have something to say? Okay. So interpersonal communication, what is that? What is interpersonal communication? That is happening between the two people. Getting my point? That is happening between the two people. It is not about intra, it is about inter. How I am able to make a conversation with the other, how they understand me. Yes, Vaibhav, you want to say something? Vaibhav Vaishya, do you want to say something? Okay, fine. So interpersonal communication is it is between two people, and you can be really effective in terms of interpersonal communication. But what is important for you? Read the minds of other. Do you feel it is very easy?
Not at all.
Not at all.
But
Certainly. So how can you read? I mean, it is easy for me to say. So how can you read?
only two moods can we can guess, ma'am. Like he's in anger or disappointed, or the in the good mood.
Or the person is very happy. Okay, like this time, Abhijit, I could make it out that you are very happy. At least you are with me, because there are many who have just plugged in their earphones, and they are not bothered that what we are talking about. But I'm thankful to all those 10 to 15 participants who are at all with me, because I think the kind of mentorship I could give, and some points I'm triggering few points. I'm not saying I have covered everything, but I'm making some points, I'm highlighting few points which would certainly help you to make a proper business communication. When we teach leadership, when we teach motivation, we always talk about interpersonal communication. Sometimes you feel that you are not very loyal to the organization, but you are loyal to a person. I'm not talking about the spouse, please keep that relationship aside. I'm talking about specifically, sometimes you connect with your leaders in such a way that you feel that whether organization is giving you benefit of going extra mile or not, but you want to work for your leader. Have you experienced this in your life?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Sometimes, you are so fond of your team leader. You want to achieve for them. You are more target driven because of them. Why? Why? Are they giving you any extra benefit?
No.
No. So why do you want to do that?
Sometimes the communication or the way they handle the team or the way they communicate, and they encourage us to go and go do beyond our boundaries. Maybe it may not be our foray as well, but still they encourage us, do it, you can do it. The encouragement which we get makes.
Shivnandan ji, can you please tell me one thing? Uh, have you been instrumental in taking out the potential of a candidate who used to feel that she or he is shy or was not very appropriate in understanding and realizing that he could do something great, but you have been very, very instrumental in extracting that potential? Have you ever, or maybe some of your superiors have done with you?
Okay, this is regarding one of my junior colleagues who had the stage fear. When he had to do this presentation stuff, he had lengthy slides which were only in text. I asked him, just tweak it to 2 or 3 sentences, use informative graphs. I think you'll be done with your communication. It will work fine. and he did it, and he was very much surprised. The reception was too good for him.
Great.
So that
And
he delivered.
great, absolutely. Even we are into academics, but we have realized that sometimes your superiors, your mentors are so encouraging that they fill you with different kind of power, which you even yourself do not realize. But then you would like to work for them. You would like to work for the work. You would like to, live up to their expectation. You would like to fulfill their expectation. You would like to meet out the faith and the trust that they have. ये आया कैसे? ये सब आता है आपके एक बोलने से. जब शिवनंदन जी आपने बताया किसी को कि आप इन्फोग्राफिक्स यूज करिए, आप पिक्चर्स यूज करिए, पावर पॉइंट इज एन एड, इट इज नॉट द कंप्लीट प्रेजेंटेशन. आज जैसे हम ब्लॉग्स डिस्कस कर रहे हैं तो ये मेरे लिए पॉइंटर्स हैं, but there is a different way we are connecting with each other. Getting my point?
Correct.
So this is the role of interpersonal communication. So when I teach my students, leaders are somebody जो आपको full, आपका mileage जो होता है ना, that mileage is dependent on your leader. And that is what, how do you connect with it? I've seen my students who are into banking, who are into finance. Sometimes they say, ma'am, we achieved target for our team leader because we do not want him to let down. So you ought to have that
Yes, ma'am.
spark. Yes. And for that matter, again, I'm emphasizing that vocabulary is not the only essence. I'm again highlighting that vocabulary is not the essence. There is a different wavelength. There is a different, a pat on back, appreciating anyone in the meeting. Maybe it is not just about money. India has grown so much that people are not just about money. Believe me, there are non-monetary incentives also, which leaders at their level can give to the team members, and they can make this very, very productive. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And
Yes,
then
ma'am.
in Unit 8,
Yes, ma'am.
we would be talking about presentation skills. This is amazing. I always feel that presentation skills, when I was preparing for the modules, I was thinking then I should have inserted few pictures, which would have not only made it attractive, but which would have given me enough opportunity to communicate it with my students that this is how the presentation skills are all about. And there is a science, because when we conduct classes in MBA, we talk about that presentation is a science and it is an art. On this topic, on the topic of business communication, we can conduct session for 5 hours. We can design a workshop of 5 hours to 6 hours. We can take a session for 1 hour also. So it depends. Are you understanding my point?
Yeah.
Present, I was once into one seminar which was there, and a young lady came to deliver her deliberations, and she, for 1 hour, she showed us only 2 to 3 slides, and then she kept talking about the essence related to that topic. So when we are, very consciously putting a lot of efforts in designing the a PowerPoint presentation, making it attractive, fulfilling it with knowledge, I always say that please plan properly. You have to plan it so properly that your structure is most important. So whenever you have been invited as a resource person or a speaker or anything or anybody, I mean somebody who is going to enrich the audience, you should initial 20 minutes, you should devote to the structure of presentation that you would like to talk about. Always I tell, when you are conducting meeting and you want to prove something, talk about storytelling. Take evidences which are there, maybe realistic, maybe different. Talk about statistics. You want to prove your point, have that logic, have that rationality. So presentation skills, yes, planning, preparation, presentation. So, I mean, there are 4 P's to it, which one of them I am missing. But when I teach to my students, I'm not able to open my, otherwise I would, plan is one, prepare is one, present is the last one and the one I'm missing. But that is what I want to tell you, that you have to have that blend wherein the wherein the art and science is getting, and have that creativity. I still remember 18 years back when I started with first of my presentation in MBA, I started with the jingle of the company. And that was videocon for which I gave the presentation. I started with the jingle of that, and that was very, very catchy. People were, because I was given only an opportunity of 4 to 5 minutes to speak out. But then in the last, I mean, it happens with every one of us. I'm one amongst you, and it happens with every one of us that last module also I would like to talk about. That is, let me expand my window. I hope it is visible.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. One is basics of written business communication, short business correspondence, non-business correspondence. So in this, there comes your, letters, memos, reports, email writing. So when we started with email writing only. We started with email writing because I wanted to uh, break that tip. I want my participants to be very comfortable in exchanging their information, in conveying things, and I wanted them to be very participative in this session. So therefore, written business communication these days, it is little easy. Why so? You are, when not grammatically correct, compose. Open your email box and start composing. When you compose, they suggest you some grammar mistake, isn't it? Where to use the article, where to use and such kind of things. Have you ever observed that?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
and then you have different applications also. I do not want you to spend money, but I want you to make use of the resources which are freely available. How many of you are there on Grammarly? How many of you are there on Grammarly? Have you created your accounts? No, no. So
No,
Fazil
ma'am.
is there. He has raised. Sumanta Banerjee is also there. So there are few students who are there. This is good if we are using Grammarly. And I request the participants who feel that they are having this level and they want to go above, surely you need to enrich yourself with reading. That's very important. If you cannot read books, read news articles. Read news articles. If you do not want to read Economic Times, read Financial Express, read Hindu. And you being into management field, what I would suggest you that read from Economic Times. Have, because we believe that managers have to be very dynamic. You may be experts of IT, you may be experts of finance, you may be experts of HR, but if you are empowered with an array of information which is there in the environment, you would be able to take better decision. So get an exposure, understand that, and therefore the reflection would certainly be there in your written part also. The moment you will realize the importance of reading, listening, you would automatically see a difference in the way you are writing. आप अपने 5 साल पहले लिखे हुए मैसेजेस उठाइए और अब आप देखिए डिफरेंस आ गया ना. अब इस 5 साल में जितना आपने ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन किया वो बहुत ज्यादा टाइम आपने ले लिया. उस टाइम को कम करके नेक्स्ट 5 मंथ्स में उस ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन को फास्ट करिए. इग्नू के मॉड्यूल्स आप कोशिश करके किसी भी तरह से उसको स्क्रॉल करिए. पूरे मॉड्यूल का स्ट्रक्चर में सिर्फ आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी, इन 4 मॉड्यूल्स को 4 दिन में देखिए. एटलीस्ट आपके पास एक स्ट्रक्चर होना चाहिए कि दिस इज इन ब्लॉक 1, दिस इज इन ब्लॉक 2, दिस इज इन ब्लॉक 3 एंड दिस इज इन ब्लॉक 4. You will realize automatically there is a arrangement of information which is going with you. Clear to every one of you? So
Yes, ma'am.
report writing formats which are there, and report writing formats, and do not just be confined to IGNOU. Please. आपको कुछ नहीं करना, 5 मिनट में अपने लैपटॉप पे या अपने मोबाइल पे डिफरेंट फॉर्मेट्स देखिए. ठीक है, उस फॉर्मेट से आपको लगेगा कि बेसिकली कुछ भी नहीं है रिपोर्ट राइटिंग में. इट इज ऑल कॉमन सेंस. It is all common sense that they are applying. और हो सके तो business plans भी देखें, if at all possible, because that is something a different area when where we talk about with the students, but do have a notice for business plan also. I'm stopping here. I want my participants to ask queries if they have at all any. So we started around 3:15. It is already 3:10. Please let me know if you have queries. I thought of taking up non-verbal communication also, but the time is little less. So maybe next time we would be going with non-verbal communication or maybe art of presentation.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
Currently, this is the first session I'm attending as a part of counseling thing. I missed
Yes.
the first class, which was in the morning.
Okay, 8:45 to 9:45.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. So what I wanted was currently you're doing this recording, which I see over there in the meeting. Is it
Yes.
available elsewhere where I can access those?
This I will share this information with the course coordinator who is here at our center, and they will take it further with the center which is there in for IGNOU, right?
Okay, because I went to the dashboard. First thing I checked was whether these options are available on the dashboard where I
I
can.
understand. I understand.
Is
You
it?
know, because yeah, we become selective. You know, at some part, क्योंकि आप लोग office में भी होते हैं, तो at some point of time you are with me. At some point of time you are having your dual roles also. So we all understand. So
Okay.
for you, recording is something which can be a meaningful thing if provided to you.
Yes.
So
Hello.
I'll definitely pass this to the course coordinator who is here with our institute, and definitely they would take up with the IGNOU uh, uh,
Thank you,
center.
ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Anything else that you would like to know?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
I want to know about the assignment question.
So maybe not giving you, there is a timeline. IGNOU normally gives a timeline. They give you assignment questions, 6 to 7 questions, out of which everything is given in the instructions, and then you need to complete that assignment. They do not give you very short time. They give you enough time to complete your assignment, because they all know that you all are working class and there is a different category they are serving to.
Regarding your discussion of today,
Yes.
how does communication influence the process of sending a message and receiving the feedback?
Sending a message, like I have been able to share the content related to it. Now it depends on you, the way you are asking question to me, it is a kind of feedback. Secondly, you may be given an opportunity from IGNOU where they will send you a feedback form to let them know about Dr. Gargi Sharma. Whatever you will give a feedback kind of a thing, that would definitely be shared with me. So that's a complete circle that would happen. That would happen.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, Sumit.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Sumit.
Now, actually, I want to ask you about the assignment portion.
Yes.
Actually, do we have only one option to know the assignments student zone, or we have to receive mails or messages according to assignments?
So what exactly you are asking? I could not understand your question.
Sorry.
No,
Actually,
it's
I want to
absolutely
ask. Actually, I want to ask you about the assignment portion because 4 days back we attended the induction class where our faculty told that 15th is the last date to submit the assignment. But actually,
15.
मैडम मुझे असाइनमेंट
हाँ
के लिए
हाँ 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 हाँ.
एक्चुअली मुझे पता नहीं था कि असाइनमेंट में क्या आएगा, तो मैंने आज कॉल किया था. देन
हाँ, हाँ.
आई नो दैट स्टूडेंट जोन में जाके
Mhm.
we can get the questions and all things.
अच्छा, उसमें
So,
डेट
ma'am,
आपकी
I want to.
मेंशन है.
Yes.
अदर पार्टिसिपेंट्स आई थिंक कैन हेल्प. आप लोगों के पास एक डेट आई है स्पेसिफिक
Yes.
असाइनमेंट को सबमिट करने की.
Yes.
This 15th May is what is mentioned in LMS portal.
ओके
Yes.
ओके.
Sumit, just to add on, आपका एक LMS पोर्टल में अकाउंट रहेगा जहाँ पे आप असाइनमेंट क्वेश्चंस एज वेल एज द मटेरियल यू कैन एक्सेस. आप वहीं पे सबमिट भी करते हो. So they are accepting the handwritten assignments which needs to be scanned and sent in a PDF format. आप वहाँ पे अपलोड कर सकते हो.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. That is the
हाँ, ये पोर्टल्स हमारे ये भी है, देखिए वी ऑल कैन एक्सचेंज इन्फॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग दिस, बिकॉज मेरा इंटरफेस अलग है, आपका इंटरफेस अलग है, मेरा यूजर इंटरफेस अलग है, आपका अलग है, बट सुमित इट इज गुड। प्लीज आप अगर आप कभी बिजी भी है इन पोर्टल्स पे आप आ जाएंगे तो एटलीस्ट बाय मीन्स ऑफ एक्सचेंजिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन अपन कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं कम्युनिकेशन, है ना। हाफ आपको वेबसाइट से मिल गया, हाफ यहाँ वर्बल हो गया।
Ma'am, one quick question.
Yes, yes.
There are plenty of reference books in the module. I
Yes.
would like to know from you if there is a specific book that you would like to recommend.
नो
for
फैसल,
business
इनफैक्ट
communication.
हाँ जो
In general.
बुक्स रेकमेंडेड जो है वो अच्छी है। मैं केस स्टडीज बहुत प्रेफर करती हूँ। आई ऑलवेज बिलीव इन केस स्टडीज मच विच आर अवेलेबल इन क्वेश्चन पेपर्स ऑफ अदर डिफरेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज ऑल्सो। तो फैजल मैं आपसे कहूंगी कि आप क्वेश्चन पेपर्स डाउनलोड करके केस स्टडीज भी जरूर आप उसमें देखिए, एंड देयर आर फ्यू केस स्टडीज विच आर देयर इन इग्नू मॉड्यूल ऑल्सो, बिकॉज केसेस गिव्स यू इनफ thinking perspective that if you would have been at their place, given the environment, what kind of solution you would have come up with.
Yeah. Thanks.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Asim. Yes.
Can you say referring book regarding to business communication?
There are, see, I always tell it to my students also here that I have recommendation for good publishers. मैं ऑक्सफोर्ड को बहुत वो करती हूँ, मैं पियर्सन की बुक्स को बहुत करती हूँ, और अभी जो नए ऑथर्स आ रहे हैं जिनका न्यू वर्क हो रहा है वो भी बहुत अच्छे हैं। आप अमेज़न से ऑक्सफोर्ड की या पियर्सन की बुक देखिए, लेकिन यू आर सेंसिबल इनफ, पहले आप जरूर से ये करिए कि आप उसका प्रीफेस एक बार पढ़ लीजिए, आप देख लीजिए कि वेदर दैट बुक सूट्स टू योर रीडिंग स्टाइल और नॉट। क्योंकि if it doesn't suit to your reading style, then don't go for it, because sometimes we just do it कि मैम ने recommend करी है। No, I say this is the time wherein I'm getting an opportunity to consult from 3 to 4 websites and 3 to 4 books also. So Amazon पे जाके उसका फ्रंट पेज देखिए, उसमें देखिए क्या क्या contents हैं। आपको लगता है कि आपको वर्बल वाला पार्ट ज्यादा चाहिए तो आप वो वाली बुक ऑर्डर करिए। Otherwise, IGNOU modules are excellent because the kind of people who have invested their energy and time in preparing those, if you have less of time, please first go through it, उसके बाद books लीजिएगा।
Okay, ma'am.
Gagi ma'am, one question from my end. Regarding examinations, जब हम exams दे रहे होते हैं तो we know the question has come in. What kind of answer is expected through evaluation procedure? बहुत lengthy है या to the point है या point wise as well as descriptive? What kind of an answers are expected? Because this is an online thing. We don't know अगर हम लिखते जाएंगे या टाइप करते जाएंगे, how will this go?
Sir, it depends. When I handle this kind of question every year, so I tell it to my students that be clear that you have to manage time so effectively that आपको कितना टाइम दिया जाएगा, आप मुझे बताएंगे एक बार आपको कितना टाइम दिया जाएगा?
I'm not sure, but I can guess at least 1.5 hours.
If 1.5 hours would be given to you, कितने टाइम, कितने मार्क्स का पेपर होगा? Because मुझे भी ये न्यू पैटर्न, I need to acquaint myself.
100 marks paper.
100 marks paper for 1.5 hours, Twinkle?
I think
No,
for
ma'am, just
MBA,
let me. I have to see.
Time
70 more questions will come.
for
70
MBA
marks
online,
will be for
assignment.
pattern is not
Yes,
5 minutes.
30 must be kept reserved for assignment. शिवनंदन जी, मुझे लगता है जो असाइनमेंट वाला पोर्शन है वो 30 में होना चाहिए, 70 का शायद इवैल्यूएशन होगा, और मुझे 1.5 hours का मैं श्योर नहीं हूँ, बट मैं हमेशा आपसे कहूँगी प्लीज पॉइंट वाइज आंसर रखिए, डिस्क्रिप्टिव मत रखिए। इफ यू आर राइटिंग इन पैराग्राफ्स, डू नॉट राइट, स्टॉप राइटिंग इन पैराग्राफ्स. It is not the way we, you are going for a big paragraphs, you should write in points. सपोज करिए आपके क्वेश्चन आता है प्रोसेस ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन, ठीक है, और जो प्रोसेस ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन है उसमें इनडायरेक्टली पूछा गया है, इनकोडिंग की बात की गई है, डीकोडिंग की बात की गई है, फीडबैक की बात की गई है, आपको एक नरेटिव दे दिया गया है और उस पर कहा गया है कमेंट.
Correct.
Such kind of questions you have been given.
That's the first question in your assignment, correct?
So if you have been given like, so please write introductory paragraph that what do you understand by communication, some part with the evolution of communication, and then that communication is a process or it has these kind of stages. Then go to the stages. जो main body of answers है, that is stages. Prepare a diagram that these are the stages. For an example, write an example. If the question is, I mean, carrying good marks.
Okay.
Are you in? अगर 14 marks का question है तो please उसको descriptive but with points, because
Okay.
points examiner को बहुत अच्छी read करने में help करता है.
Okay, got it now. Thank you.
Got it. Anything else? Thank you so much for being wonderful participants, and I enjoyed taking your class. All the very best.